Hiya. We wait for a few more of you to join. Now, I've been asked a few questions about crystals. Okay. I don't pretend to be a complete expert on crystals. I'm seriously drawn to crystals. Okay. I'm drawn a lot to crystals, but yeah, I don't claim to be an expert. My partner doesn't either, but she's got far more knowledge than I have. So she's helped me. Marie's helped me create the information for tonight. But it's what I'm going to go through is beginner's crystals for spiritual, psychic, and mediumship development. Okay. You're not late, Sharon. I've only just started. I'll say some hellos to all of you anyway. But yeah, I've prepared some information. So I've got some notes by me. I've got some crystals, etc., to show you. But crystals that I'm going to go through, they might not be everyone's beliefs to do with development crystals, but they were tried and tested by more than just myself. Okay, people can be drawn to all crystals in a lot of different ways. So always ultimately follow your instinct. Like some of them I'm going to talk about tonight we'd never heard of. I got it channeled. Other crystals that we've ended up with have somehow just ended up in our inbox on eBay and Amazon and things like that with crystals that we've ended up with. It's spirit work in funny ways to get what you need in front of you. So once you start working with crystals and once you start developing down a spiritual, psychic or mediumship path, spirit do seem to try and sort of, how do they put it? Divine intervention, okay? And point you in direction. So tonight I'm really going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't like number 8. I'll explain that when I get there. Pretty much 10 ones. I wouldn't suggest anyone rushes out and gets all 10. It'd be whatever you're sort of drawn to, anyone that's trying to develop. They're the first level of what I build up to actually have the 10 in a collection, okay? There are a lot of others as you progress further, but these are what me and Marie would sort of suggest are the more basic high vibrational beginner's crystals. Okay. Say some hellos. Hiya, Crystal. You were the first online then. Hiya, Sharon. Hiya, Tonya. Hi, Kaylee. Hiya, Shayna. Shayna. I don't know whether I've said that right. Hiya, Leslie. Hiya, Siobhan. Hiya, Leah. Hiya, Leslie. Good evening. Hiya, John. Hiya, Tonya. Any messages for Tonya? It's about crystals for development, I'm afraid. There's no messages tonight. Okay. Haven't seen Sandra yet, Sharon. Hiya, Mandy. Hiya, Pippa. Hiya, Lizzie. I'm good. I hope everyone else is well. Hiya, Natalie. Hi, Samantha. Hi, Erica. Oh, I've jumped to the bottom of the list. Hiya, Claire. Hiya, Louise. Hiya, Jenny. Hiya, Paula. God, I'm saying hello to you as well, sweetheart.
Hi.
Hiya, Maggie and South Africa. Hiya, Marie. Hiya, Angela. Louise and Marie. Okay, playing up already. The comments list is anyway. It's just jumping all over the place. I'm glad you're looking forward to it, Valerie. We've been looking forward to doing it for you. Okay. Hiya, Wendy. Hiya, Hannah. Katie. Nikki. Maggie. Sharon. And Chantel. Right, there's quite a few of you online anyway. So thank you for joining me. Right. So before I start, let me try and explain a little bit. So before I get into crystals, exactly how they work, you sort of need to understand a bit about vibration, because crystals all hold a vibration. And I know I had someone ask the other night to do with vibrations. The easiest way to start, let me start with this. Those of you know that, of course, I do spirit portraits. There's me drawing out spirit help. Okay? So there's a bit of a difference. I know I said I can't really draw stickman. Now you can see why no one would want me on Pictionary. Okay? But with this, what I'm going to try and explain, if you look at I'll try to get this little camera now. At the bottom line, low vibration, the one side up to high vibration, it's like radio frequency. Okay? So you've got to tune into the right channel. And that's where crystals can sort of hold the key and can help. So if we're down on this end, the stick man, spirit are up the other end, we've got to try and tune in, and crystals can aid doing that. Okay? Imagine it like Marie gave this example earlier, actually, which is quite correct. Radio frequencies, we can't all hear all radio frequencies. For instance, the police might use radio frequencies. We can't all tune in to their frequencies, but crystals can aid trying to tune in. So spirits are all at one end of the scale, and we're all down the other end of the scale, and we've got to try and get somewhere in the middle. It's not that you can't communicate being at two different ends of the scale, but it's like shouting and trying to communicate through a long, big tunnel. So if you can progress yourself further into a tunnel, then it's making the communication clearer. As I said, spirits are very high vibration. Okay, and being grounded is a low vibration. The best way of giving an example of that, with the different vibrations, if we're feeling serious or down and taking everything really seriously, we're very, very grounded. Okay, if our energy's way up there in the sky, it's like being drunk, although we're not drunk. It's being up there, and the two differences of those, being grounded, it's harder to raise up and get that communication. Being too high, and you're raised up and you're floating. So then you're getting all the information, but you can't pass it on. Because when you're at the top, that's your spiritual self for getting the information, and ground is your physical self. So you've got to try and get a balance in the middle of the two, so that you're present, but using your subconscious in order to get the information. And that's being the best of both. Okay? And that's where crystals can help. Good evening, Roger. Right. So, has anyone got any questions briefly on what I just said with regard to vibration before I move on then to the basic, so the crystals that I'd recommend for beginners to develop? Hopefully there isn't too much of a lag. It's I can't do much about it. I know last night I got a bit bad sort of in the middle, but I'm hoping that it's going to work tonight. I know the majority clear last night. That's all right, Chantel, no problem. I guess it's unusual to go to a Medium page and have educational talks rather than readings. So no worries at all. As I said at the start, I don't claim to be an expert on crystals. It's more from experience. So I personally, when I developed, started and being drawn to crystals. Best way to try and describe a crystal, all of us know what a magnet's like. It's got a north and south end, and you can feel the vibration from the different ends of the magnet. They can attract other metals. So a crystal can attract other things. It can't attract metal and things like that to be drawn to it, as in it's stuck. A crystal's got a vibration, which is how they work. Sorry, a magnet's got a vibration, which is how they work. So are crystals. Okay. Chantel, I'll explain that with one at a time or all of the time as I go through. Once you've got a bit more knowledge about the ones I recommend, it'd be in your instinct and what you were drawn to. No, I'd never go wallop and use all immediately. Okay, you could use a few if you were just working, then you could use all of them immediately, but you wouldn't want them continually in your aura initially, because that could make you feel very sick. Right. I've not missed anything there. Okay, Carol, I get drawn to some, but then seem to put them away. That can happen, as well as well, in a lot of instances, I might be a different there. Every time I seem to come across a crystal, then somehow they're still useful for me, but in different ways. But I don't always have every crystal on me at every time, which I'll also explain at the end. That's towards the end that I'll explain a bit more about my crystals. Did start with what I'm going to be covering today. Yes, Siobhan, very good. Very good for you. You can, when you're trying to connect to Chantel, you can use more than one at a time. Okay, it depends what purpose you're wanting with the crystal. As I explained, the ones that I'm talking here, I'm going to cover hopefully a bit of a base with regard to each of them, and to show you how you could use them together or how you could use them individually. In my opinion, Trina, you've got a few small crystals. It doesn't greatly, in my opinion, matter too much in the majority of cases, the size of the crystal. There are some exceptions to that. But in a lot of cases, it's better to have a crystal of sorts that's got a certain vibration than no crystal at all. It doesn't matter too much on the size. Thank you, Sarah. I try to, but I'm always open to answering questions anyway if there's anything that anyone misses or wants me to recap. Lapis lazuli, Carol, is one that I'll be talking about. Kept in a box, to be in your pocket. Right. Start them. Okay. Before I just talk about the crystals, I'm going into the crystals, but when you go and buy a crystal, can be drawn to them by picture, but then you need to make sure if you're looking online to buy them that the picture you're seeing is the crystal you're getting, which the likes of Etsy is typically the case. Okay? If anyone was trying to get crystals, if you or wanted a certain, I might be able to point you in the right direction at the end, or if you drop me a message, it'd be easier because then I can give you something that you can keep and write and go and look. Okay? But Amazon, you could get caught out and they won't be the item that's actually on the photo. eBay, just check because they will tell you if it's the item that you're seeing is the one that you're getting. If you're drawn to one by image, then it should be good. But if you're going to a crystal shop, which I know a lot of people have in different towns. If anyone's around my area when they're open, I'd just say Crystal Barn's quite a good one because it's big. They're only open like one maybe 2 days a week to the public. But such a large quantity of crystals, you can choose your crystal. If you're going to choose your crystal, the best way of testing them initially, this is a form of clear quartz. It's actually Herkimer diamond, which we'll go into. But with a bit of clear quartz, if you hold your hand out before you test a crystal that you want to do, just do small circles. You don't get it to touch your hand. Do the small circles. Clear quartz is basically then giving you what I'd call a neutral energy at the moment on your hand. Okay, so if you do that, then you can sense where you're about to put another crystal. You can pick a crystal up, put it in your hand, and you're more likely then to feel the vibration, feel whether you're drawn to it. So that's how I'd go into a shop and actually test what crystal I wanted if there was a choice of 5 or 6 of the same. Okay. Yes, Leslie, I'd drop us a message. I'm briefly going to talk about Moldavite. Okay. But there's others that are a bit more important than that initially, because that's a big changer, but I'll talk about that. Do the tumbled versions work as well as raw? Yes, it depends what you're drawn to. I'm 9 times out of 10 more drawn to natural or raw crystal, which is what, if anyone wants to know referring to, raw crystal is one that's just like one that's come out of the ground. And sorry, I've lost what I'm saying then. So the others are like more polished, okay, effect, which is like that, which is thrown around in a lot of fine sand, etc., in order to get its coating. They're very smooth. But I'm more drawn to raw. Marie's more drawn to polished or smooth. So it's in anyone's own whatever they're drawn to. It doesn't really make a great difference. Okay. Right. So that's sort of how I'd go about choosing one. But anyway, the first crystal that I'd really recommend for development would be amethyst. Okay, let me show you amethyst. I've got a few examples here. First of all, pendulums, which I know I've spoken about briefly. If anyone was starting to develop, I'd recommend a amethyst pendulum. Okay, this works well for spirit communication, and you can use a pendulum for yes/no answers or for clarification on information you're getting. Amethyst, again, there's a amethyst crystal ball, okay, which you can use for scrying. There's raw or natural amethyst. And let me show you a piece that we keep in our room, or as a room piece for the energy generally in the room. There's a natural what's that called? Geode or amethyst geode. Is that right? Okay. An ornament that we just have in the room for the energy from the amethyst. Right. Amethyst. It's a crown chakra, and third eye chakra opener. Or it works with those. Okay. It's very relaxing, calming, protective, and is good for psychic ability. It encourages spiritual awareness and awakening, increases insight and intuition. It's effective under pillows. For instance, you could sleep with one under your pillow for relaxing the mind and stress and allowing positive dreams to come through. You can meditate with it on your third eye. Okay. It brings about mental clarity and deeper understanding. It's great to carry with you or wear to fully benefit from the energy. So if someone was developing, then I'd recommend that you have a piece that you can put in your pocket or wear. When I refer to wearing, see, you can get jewelry that are perfectly made. I make my own with a jewelry drill, put a hole through and a shoelace so I can add, or I was going to say take away, but generally it's add to what I've got. So I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy lots of jewelry. That's a more expensive way of doing it. It works just as well as getting the crystal that you want and dropping it in your pocket or in a little bag and keeping them together and putting it in your pocket. But that amethyst was the very first crystal I was really drawn to, and it does work. There's various different methods of using amethyst. Okay. Right. The next crystal that I'd recommend would be Charolite. Sorry, I'm struggling to say it. Charolite. Sorry, say it again for me. I know more about using the crystals that I'm drawn to than the names of them all, which is why I claim not to be a crystal expert. Charoite. Let me put it on here so you can see how it's spelled. I'll put it in the comments so you can see how it's spelled rather than me just saying it. Sorry about that. Right, but there's a piece that's a smaller piece, and then Marie's bigger. Piece. So that's what it looks like. Charoite is a stone of transformation. Okay? It helps you cope through periods of profound changes. Okay, it helps you go with the flow rather than like resisting. So if you're going through psychic development or mediumship development or spiritual development, you there is kind of a flow once you start developing that sort of continues to happen, and you can become resistant to it. This really helps and aids in that. It aids in thinking clearly. Okay, and when going through spiritual awakening, I'm trying to read my own notes here. When going through spiritual awakening, but not sure what it all means or what it personally means for you, it can help find you your way or find you your path to incorporate spirituality into your life. Okay, often sort of leads you to the path of being in service to others, be used in healing work, and brings insight, intuition, and visions, and can often be used for comfort during the changes involved with regard to development. Okay, but it really is a stone of transformation. I will let anyone ask questions at the end with regards to what the crystals I'm going through here. Right. Selenite. And let me just type it in so you can see how it's spelled. Selenite. Okay. There's a few bits here. There's a smooth or polished one. Here's a natural or raw one. Open these. Clearer. Okay. And it does kind of glow like it is in my hand. This was one of the first I was most amazed with when we first. It's very, very. The energy is quite powerful. You can feel it very clearly. Okay. And it really did glow when we opened the box. It was kind of the energy was just gorgeous, made you tingle all over. And you can use. I'll go through what you can use it for, but it's very, very good for cleansing your aura. Okay, and there's a bigger piece which is an ornament, just an angel ornament of selenite. So typically we just have it up in the corner of the room. But selenite, it's very, very easily available and it's affordable. Okay, it's a must-have, and it's a very high vibration. It's self-cleansing, so which is unusual for crystals. It's self-cleansing, and it cleanses other crystals. Okay? Working with selenite can clear and activate the crown and higher chakras. Okay? It really is a must-have for anyone doing any spiritual work. It's protection because of its vibration. It's such a high frequency, negativity will just be repelled or will do in another direction. It won't come close to it. Okay. Clarity, it gives clarity of mind. It's aura cleansing. So you can just literally use it sort of inches from your body up and down, and it will clear your aura and fix your aura. It just recharges. And it brings light into the physical and can activate dormant abilities, which is why it's good development. But it also promotes rapid spiritual growth. Okay. That really is one that's needed. Okay. One thing I will say, if anyone does get or have selenite, don't wash it in water. Okay? It's soluble and it will just disappear or it start disappearing. Okay? And it doesn't need cleansing anyway because it cleanses everything else. Okay. One thing as well with crystals, and I know I'm moving through the list, but one thing that's just coming to my head, okay? With crystals, you're always better choosing your own. Okay? If anyone gives you a crystal, you either need to cleanse it, okay, or make sure it's not been around negatively. Crystals pick up other people's vibrations. So if someone else has had it and gives it to you, you need to be sure you know what sort of energy that person's had and that it's been around. Likewise, if you ever out on a walk and you spot a bit of crystal, it's obviously that someone's had it and it's on the ground. On the ground, leave it there. Okay, nowhere. It could be someone that actually knows about crystals. It's full of negative energy and they need rid of. So bring it back into natural environment. Okay, see a crystal around when you're walking around. Don't be picking it up and taking it home with you. Okay, because you really don't know what energy's actually then picked up. So anyway, blue kyanite. Okay. Both the pieces I'm going to show this are raw. Can get you can get polished.
Little one, do you have?
Yeah, not the well, I'm here. No, it's upstairs. Okay, so I'm not getting that out at the minute. So yeah, so I've got a polished one, but I'm not pulling that out at the minute. And there's a bigger piece Marie got recently because she loves this crystal. It's basically this one is mixed with quartz as well. So quartz magnifies the vibration of crystal. So this has at the bottom got, I don't know whether you can see it on there, but this has got quartz at the bottom, which then magnifies. Okay. Right. So blue kyanite automatically aligns. It automatically aligns your chakras. Okay? If you hold it for 20 minutes, it'll bring all of your chakras into alignment. Okay. It enhances your intuition. It brings balance and can aid psychic abilities, help spirit guide connections and communication. You can place it under your pillow for peaceful dreams and to aid dream recall. Okay. The other thing that's good for dream recall is actually saying out loud when you go to bed, sort of asking for the higher powers to aid you remembering your dreams, and it really can work. I very rarely remember to say it, but the times I have done, I really wanted to remember. I've always woken up and remembered. So that can aid, but it really does aid peaceful dreams. It promotes truth, clarity of thought, and expression, which allows you to accept the higher frequency, okay, and the higher energy, messages, and understanding. Okay, it basically helps you to understand what's being given to you through spirit or through psychic ability. Basically, because it leaves your energy so well sort of balanced, okay, and your mind clear and stress free, it leaves you in the optimum state for spiritual work. Kind of clears your mind. Right. On to one of my favorites. Okay. This is Numite, or others pronounce it Numamite. And a few different spellings of it as well. I would spell it. In my opinion, is the best grounding and protective crystal going. Okay. I haven't heard many other people say that, but this is my belief. Okay. Okay, my belief, and I haven't read this anywhere else, but from what I've sort of got from above, okay, it's grounding, but it grounds you more from waist up. Okay, so it's not bringing you too down and losing all your vibration. So it's protective, but protective for the important part of your body. Okay, right. So Numite is over 3 billion years old. Okay, so it's got a very strong earth energy. Showing you it though. Sorry. Right. So it's sort of black. It's got sparkles in it. Anyone with Numite, I'll get it for the purpose of wearing. Okay. It really is one of my absolute favorites. Okay. It's over 3 billion years old. So it's a strong earth energy. Powerful energy brings rapid spiritual growth, brings synchronicity, okay, moving you along your path with less of a struggle. It's protection against psychic, it gives protection against psychic attack, okay, and negative energies. It lifts the veil to see through other people, and yourself. So it may bring about rapid change. But it is very supportive and will give you like the strength and persistence and perseverance that you need on your spiritual path. It can help let go of old issues which have been holding you back. It grounds the spiritual energy, but it doesn't ground it too far. That's why I like it. And it integrates into the physical. Vital to be able to effectively manifest progress, success, and growth to the current life. And also, because it integrates the grounds the spiritual energy and integrates into the physical, it means it's aiding you to communicate. Okay? Knew my would never memory had never heard of it, and I was just really drawn to this image. I think that might have been Amazon or somewhere like that. Never heard of it before, and like, oh, I really need that. I need a piece of that, but I didn't know anything about it. When we looked it up, it made perfect sense to me, which is why if you're drawn to something, look up the meaning of once you know what that crystal is, and it's likely to resonate with you of why you actually might need that. So it's protection, but not too protecting. So I found protecting and grounding kind of left too close to the ground, wasn't aiding in the gathering of communication. Okay, but that kept me safe as well as not needing a full grounding crystal. Okay, here's another one. Next is one of my favourites. 1 second. I need to do that because that's one of my favourites. I always struggle saying it, even though I know how I'm meant to say it. Labradorite. Let me start again. Told you I struggle saying it. Labradorite, which is Labradid. So I'm dyslexic as well, but never bothered me. But some of these words I've got to look up how to spell them right. Right. That's how you spell this one. Labradorite. I've got a few pieces in front of me. Let's show Marie's first, which is our largest one. I work with labradorite a lot. I wear it. There's a small one which, if I'm working, I have it in my pocket. And then another one of it, which I do love the colours. This one just shows the colour quite well. If I turn it round, I've got a face shape forming in it. I'm just that's grabbing my attention. Looks like 2 eyes, nose, and a mouth on it. Which Spirit do use crystals as well. Try and show themselves. Don't know if anyone else can see that. But I'm turning the crystal and it's still saying facing me. So that's made me smile. Right. Right. Labradorite. Right. It is protective, okay, and it stimulates intuition and psychic abilities. It's protective, especially for the aura. Someone was asking previously, I believe, about energy leakage and energy vampires. Labradorite would help protect your energy, protect against psychic attack. Okay? So, i.e., for other people's negative thoughts and intentions, it stops them from affecting you. Okay, it clears old energies and thought patterns away, which makes sending to higher frequencies easier and more sustainable. That was just someone had mentioned about psychic attacking energies So if anyone's like an empath, then it's a very good crystal for them. Basically, it means instead of clearing your thoughts and energy, the aura, it stops them falling back into the lower energies. Let me repeat that because I don't think I said that quite properly for it to come out correctly. Instead of just clearing your thoughts and energy and aura, it stops them slipping back into the. It keeps them with you, but stops your energy. It keeps them with you, but stops it falling back to lower energies. Spiritart is kept within the aura, and if it's kept within your aura, it is best. Okay, so I do wear a piece as well. Then I work with them separately. Best spiritual operating and vibration. You want to have it in your aura, so have it on you. More to the point, it means you always remain healed and energetic. Okay, so there's less of an effort to connect to spirit each time you want to work or meditate, etc. Because within your aura, you've already got that capability. And, let me put that in again for you with the. You're just trying to get me to say it again, Nicole. Labradorite. I use this for if I'm doing any astral travel or trying to go and see something which is normally used. I use that a lot for just trying to tackle someone's got a spirit problem, and I can sort of split my spirit with it and astral travel, and I can travel safely. Okay, so to protect my spirit as I go off and view remotely. Okay? So its capabilities are brilliant. Okay? Next, lapis lazuli. Which again, I do wear. There's a flat one. Here's a cube of it. Just can't get used to this camera. It goes the opposite way to the way I want to move my hand. So, lapis lazuli. I do like this one. I like it a lot. I was drawn to it more for throat chakra. Okay, brings spiritual knowledge, wisdom, truth, and insight. It's good for judgment. Helps you know you are connecting with positive energies. Helps you receive and interpret clearer communication from spirit. It promotes visions, releases stress quickly, and paves the way for peaceful spirit communication. Okay, protects also against psychic attack. You see where this is going with a few of these crystals. A lot of them are protective, and with the aid of the pneumite that I've mentioned earlier, these all together really, in my opinion, make the need for actually having a true grounding crystal not as needed. But that is my personal belief. Okay, protective against psychic attack, keeps you mentally functioning effectively and healthily, and allows for dreams to be vivid and more easily remembered. Okay, but it really does helps you speak the truth as well. What you're receiving, it even gives you the trust to be able to say, no matter how crazy the information is that you're getting, that you repeat it, and it normally then makes sense. Okay, yes, of course I can write it right. What I'll do in a second, I will write all of these and make it. I'll get it to go along the bottom for you. Tell you what, give me 1 second. I'll do that now so you can see all of them. Amethyst. feelings. No, so lapis is really there. We go on the last one, right? Lapis. Across the bottom. Right, there you go. Along the bottom now, you should have the names. Will tell me in a minute what I'm going to have to spell some of. I think I've gone through the description of what I've got to now. I think I've got. Yes, basically, lapis lazuli brings spiritual knowledge, wisdom, truth, insight, good judgment, helps know you are connecting with positive energies. Okay. It also helps you receive and interpret clearer communication from spirit, promotes visions, releases stress quickly, and paves the way for peaceful spirit communication. Protective against psychic attack, keeps you mentally functioning effectively and healthily, and allows for dreams to be vivid and more easily remembered. It helps you speak the truth and opens your throat chakra. And crystal number 8, black tourmaline. Looks a bit like a lump of coal. Don't get me wrong, they're very, very good and very grounding. And they're good to have about, but I don't personally work with this one, but feel like I need to definitely talk about it with regard to beginners and development. Okay, basically, it cleanses and balances your energy and chakras, forms a protective shield around you, promotes a more confident, positive attitude, which in turn attracts more positivity and success. It removes worries. It allows you to think more clearly. And it's very, very grounding. Okay, in my opinion, it's too grounding to work with. If I would be the first one that I'd reach for if I'd been doing a lot of work and was struggling to come back down, or my vibration was too high, I would then reach for that. Okay? But it's not very often that I would reach for it. I believe Numite and the others that I've got do the job of it, but I couldn't have gone through this without talking about black tourmaline. It's definitely a piece that you need to have about, because it can very quickly bring you back down to earth. Okay, if you started floating away too much with other crystals. Okay, That's more me now not using it. I did use it as I was developing with crystals to bring me back down where some crystals had taken me too high. Okay? It's all about the balance between the vibrations. But it's very, very good for cleansing and balancing your energy, okay, and chakras. So it's a good one to have around as well in a room and things, isn't it?
Gridding.
And gridding, which gridding, I don't know whether many of you have heard of crystal grids, but you can do a lot with crystals and grids for a lot of different purposes. It's very, very good. Okay. I can do a talk on that at another time. We're interested in how to use crystal grids. The one crystal grids for abundance can be very, very good and useful. Right. Moldavite, which I know some of you had already mentioned that I'd seen. But if you think of Moldavite, before I go into exactly what it does, think of it as a stick of dynamite. Okay. Moldavite. And you don't need big pieces of Moldavite. Okay. This is a piece that I've got my crystal set up with different intention. This is one set up purely with the intention of working. This is one that I've used with a few others purely for work. Okay. I do wear Moldavite as well on me, but I wouldn't recommend anyone jumps into wearing Moldavite on them until they're far more used to crystals. Okay. It seriously is like a stick of TNT. Transformational. It's extreme high vibration and it's intense. Okay. Helps activate all your chakras. So it's not working on one thing, it helps activate all of them, or it can activate any of them. So it really is like boom, as it removes blockages. Downside is when you start working with that, especially if you put it into your aura and had it that you were wearing always with you all the time, it'll throw up everything and anything. Doubts, bottled up emotions, past pains. Okay. But the real benefit is it accelerates spiritual development and growth. Clears out what doesn't serve you, basically. And it's an extreme high vibration. So it can be very, very good to pick up for the purpose of working. But you really would need to build up. Don't try and throw it straight into your aura all of the time. It could probably make you feel sick if you weren't used to vibrations of crystals. And lastly, on the crystal list is Herkimer diamond. Oh, almost dropped it then. Right. And there's a different piece. Same face to come back into this one now at the top. That's Herkimer diamond. And then everyone else see the face in the bottom of that.
A lot shows in that.
Yeah, a lot does show in Herkimer. I know who it is. That's my dad. Right. Well, there's one now. Another one peering behind him. If anyone can see the faces. Yeah, he's good for visions. Right, but Herkimer diamond. It is a form of quartz. Okay, very high clarity quartz. Its main purpose is it magnifies other crystals. So, like holding that with the moldavite that I'd said has just doubled the power of the dynamite. Okay, so it magnifies the other crystals. It really helps activate your third eye. It gives access to psychic abilities and promotes clarity. And I picked up my piece that I then put with my working crystals after I'd kind of got used to the vibration. and I couldn't really feel the vibration of the other crystals anymore because I was so used to it. Dropped that in with my working crystals. It was like wallop again. It was really intensified the power and the energy of the other crystals. And right, but they're what I would recommend. Okay, but it's whatever you're drawn to sort of first. But they're basically the 10 that I'd recommend for beginners. There are others that then you can add into the mix once you've got your vibration up a little bit, have other purposes. But that wouldn't come under a beginning to develop. That would be intermediate sort of development. Okay. Someone's asking if they could see the crystal ball again. Right, better. This was amethyst again. Carol, what's that one again called? Which the Herkimer diamond was the one I did last. If you're referring to this one that magnifies. And that the one that I held up the ball was amethyst.
Be very careful ordering those online.
Did the black tourmaline said it balances, it cleanses and balances your energy and your chakras and forms a protective shield around you. Promotes a more confident, positive attitude, which in turn attracts more positivity and success. It removes worries. It allows you to think more clearly. It's very grounding. Okay? In my opinion, it's too grounding. That's the black tourmaline. Okay. So.
Careful ordering crystal balls online because you don't always get the size.
Yes. Yeah. Regis said, ordering crystal balls online. Okay. Make sure you know the difference between diameter and circumference. A lot of them will put the circumference up, then you think you're getting a crystal ball this size, and it'll arrive about that size. Okay, so do be very careful if you order crystal balls online. Okay, but they can be very good for spirits to show themselves in. So that's not necessarily a crystal ball to aid development, but they can aid visions in their own right by just looking at them. So they are the list of crystals that I would recommend. And the purpose is basically, as I said before, is to try and meet in the middle. I don't know whether you can see the diagram here. So by raising your vibration, if we're at the bottom here normally, okay, so that lines the ground. Okay, we've got to try and get up to the top where spirit are in order to get that information that they give us clearly, which is a high vibration. If we go too high, we're like drunk, we get all the information and then we can't put it back down. If we're too low, we struggle to get clarity of the information. Okay? So when you get sort of odd bits like that, that means you are sensitive, but you're probably operating down at this level here. What you've got to try and do is get into the middle here. Okay? Which is in the best of both. I do, just to mention again quickly, and I'll look at the questions and answer any questions. When I work, there are other crystals that you can use. For instance, there's others that you can add for mediumship, etc. There's others that are an angel connection that I'd work with. Others that I'd work with for spirit guide connection. They're a lot stronger. Others that I'd work with when performing cleansing or clearances. Okay, and others that I work with as a shaman on shamanic journeying, shamanic and energy healing. Okay, so there's a lot of different crystals out there that you can use for different things. So I know the ones we've covered now are more the basic ones. So as long as you get those gradually more into your aura, the majority of them you could bring into your aura slowly, couldn't you? But I'd go last with Moldavite unless you really want to get a wallop. Okay? It seriously is a wallop, isn't it? When I first had Moldavite, I mean, I couldn't have it in my possession for too long. Couldn't sleep at night. I started wearing it. I think it took me about 2 or 3 days to stop sweating, and about 7 days to actually get used to the vibration and liking it. I think I'd actually be poorly. I took it away from me too rapidly now.
I've been holding it, came blurting out within 24 hours.
What's that?
I've been holding it, I blurted
Yeah.
out.
Marie did it, held it for 24 hours, I had it on her for 24 hours. I think I was the worst person alive. She blurted out every single thing I'd ever done wrong, a grudge, but it wasn't just me. Parents and everything were in for it. It was literally it straight out, and you can't help yourself. It's like you open your mouth and just it comes straight out when you're using Moldavite. I just had a really funny thought then, Crystal, that's online. I could just imagine you having a bit in your aura. Would really aid. There's so many benefits. And it is a benefit clearing out as well. Having all those emotions coming to the surface and letting go of them. But it's just such a wallop. It can make you feel worse rather than better initially. Moldavite is one of probably my 2 absolute favourite crystals. And I said I like labradorite. I said it good then when I said it quick. But no, it's one of my absolute favourites is Moldavite. For the energy and the things that it can do. I guess my other favourite labradorite is the Aura 20 Aura Light 23, but that's not one for talking about now. Okay? Crystal thinks she must have got a bit snuck onto her of Moldavite. So Crystal, we know quite well. That's why I was talking about her online. Okay, she likes talking. We could say she's lovely. Oh, she does have a small piece. Right. It doesn't matter with Moldavite. The size of the piece really does not matter. Is that high vibrational? That it really does. It's the size of it does not matter. There's not that much of it, was it? It's from a meteorite, wasn't it? Basically, Moldavite is formed from something that did actually come from outer space. So it was a meteorite that hit the Earth at that temperature. The meteorite then melted the sand and formed what we now call Moldavite. Okay? But yeah, no, it is a good piece to have, but just don't keep it on you all the time. Initially, it's a good piece to work with because it can be your one piece that is your intention crystal, for instance, on Moldavite. Could be your one piece that every time you want to meditate, every time you want to work with spirit, or you're developing your psychic ability, it can be the one that you pick up from the side and just hold in the palm of your hand. You then set your intention on that crystal that it's only been picked up when you want to communicate. Okay? And it's that high vibrational. It is literally the moment it's put in your hand, it's going to open the channel that you need. Okay. I think she already has, Siobhan. I bet you if you ask her, it's been in a purse with Moldavite. Right. I was very drawn to it. Has anyone got any questions with regards to the crystals that I've shown, or any other crystals or to do with crystals and vibrations that you'd like to ask? I do remember her telling me she got Moldavite, and I did laugh. I was like, anyone wants to ask any questions with regard to the crystals, or want me to show any of them again or repeat anything that I've said? I've got any questions, please do ask. I can show you the clear crystal ball in a minute, Crystal, but it's not one that I've said was essential to do with development, but it can aid visions. Okay, it can aid visions what you're trying to develop. I guess in that way, I can kind of incorporate them. Marie, where did the selenite angel come from?
Wholesale.
Wholesale. Okay. There's not that many of you on here.
can't come by.
Give me 1 second, otherwise Marie might kill me if I said this out loud without asking first. Give me 1 sec. What have I done now? Right, hiya. I thought I'd better check first, but if there was enough of you that wanted any of the crystals we've spoken about tonight, okay, a few of you, we've got access, or Marie's got access to crystals at wholesale price. Okay, if you wanted to drop a message, if there were any of the crystals you were drawn to, and I've got enough of you that we can put an order together, because a wholesale, we can't often just buy one piece. If there's anything you were sort of interested in, drop me a message of what you were interested in, or the crystal. If there's say 5 or 10 of you wanting a piece of amethyst or selenite, we can probably get it in bulk a lot cheaper than that, and I'll just then ask you to transfer across and we'll send it out to you. But it could save you a lot from buying shops prices. There's quite a big difference in price. Well, I'd go as far as saying there's a massive difference in price of what people sell at and what people buy at. I've said majority of the cases, unless you find good sellers, there could be 150% uplift, if not 250% uplift. Okay, you would be surprised. Okay, for instance, Irish. I can't think. Basically, there is a massive uplift. Crystal Bible, you like the Crystal Bible, don't you? Yeah, Mary loves the Crystal Bible. It is good, Helen. Right, sorry, I've missed some comments now. Okay, cleansing crystals. I didn't cleanse my pendulum. The white sage, very good. Nagchampa stick. Not heard of it. Heard of it, it's at the back of my mind, but I don't know much about Nagchampa stick. Perhaps you can tell me a little bit about it, Carol. Okay, but cleansing pendulum or crystals with sage, that's probably the best way of doing it, or selenite. Okay. If anyone ever loses crystals as well, I've learned this. You lose crystals, it can often be for a reason that you don't actually realize. Okay. They have a habit of just vanishing if you don't need them anymore, or there's a problem with them. So don't ever get disappointed if all of a sudden a crystal's gone, or for no reason at all it breaks. In my opinion now, if a crystal does something like that, vanishes, breaks, or whatever, it is for a reason. It may be that it's a crystal that's absorbing of negative energies, and it may be full, or there is always a reason when crystals vanish or disappear.
We put them in the garden.
Yeah, we put them in the garden. If they get like that, if they do break or something like that, they'll go in the garden. They're going back into earth. Okay. Cleanse and charge your crystals. The best way, selenite, Roger. Okay. There's some crystals that like sun, some that like moon. They could fade. There's lots you've got to be careful of with water. So personally, sage or selenite, okay, would be the best way for crystals. You'd agree with that? We do use the moon, but if I'm using the moon to cleanse crystals, I'd normally be putting an intention on the crystals at the same time and be using a to basically charge it, give it more power, rather than cleansing. The full moon would be for charging the crystals. Okay? I can answer the questions. I was told I need amethyst geodes around me, not any others. What's the difference, please? Geode. It's like the one I showed you earlier. What's the
massive ones at cathedral, and those that I think they call them church.
This one's called a church, a geode amethyst. Okay. The energy that they give out is similar to that, really, isn't it? But it's bigger. It's like a bigger scale for rooms.
Yeah.
So if someone was advised to have, sorry, Marino's more than me on amethyst.
Constant energy out.
It gives a constant good vibration of energy out into the room. Okay, so it's not like, I wouldn't recommend one of those. If you've got one of those, don't recommend one of those, because that doesn't make sense. Okay, but having one of these, you could then recommend one of those, which would be then put the energy into the room. Okay, I can't see why you wouldn't, because you can't carry one like this around with you. Okay, so it's for the purpose of energy into the house or to the room, to give an uplifting feel.
Yeah. Normally use
and raise the vibration in the room. Yeah.
It's not on your person.
Okay, so that's for them. That's being used for the space, Sarah, for putting it into the house rather than your person. Okay. You can cleanse with incense sticks, but I'd always say if you're going to cleanse with incense stick, you'd be better with sage in its natural form, okay, because you don't know what else is in the incense stick. So cleansing it with actual sage would be, in my opinion, better than doing it with incense. Selenite angel, that came from wholesale. What is the best to take stress and anxiety from family?
Yeah, that's good. We use the amethyst.
We use amethyst for that as well. And to take negative energy, probably a salt lamp is also good. A salt lamp's probably one of the best. I'm going to show you, but now right. I've got to move some mess. Right. That's probably the best way for family getting rid of energies, negative energies, would be a salt lamp. Okay. And I always have one on or by me when I'm working. Any negative energies I'm picking up from anywhere else, you can go straight there. Salt's very absorbing. Okay. So that's what I would do for getting really stressful energies. Anxiety, you can also take anxiety and energy. That's a negative energy, it'll absorb that. Moldavite, typically with us, majority nowadays would be from wholesale. But typically you could get it on Amazon, Etsy. Etsy would be good.
There's one good seller on Etsy.
On Etsy, let me write it down in here. On Etsy, there's a shop called Crystal Nation. One word on it. I can't remember if it's one word or two words on it. But if you look on Etsy, Crystal Nation, I think it's actually a Crystal Nation shop. But they're extremely helpful. Okay. That's one that we'd normally go to first. They've got a lot of moldavite. But they're also very helpful if you're wanting a certain piece. They will kind of go out their way in order to find it for you. Okay. I've just typed that Crystal Nation, but they're very good for any one-off pieces. Okay, but moldavite, they've got a lot of it. Do you keep them separate or all together? Ones that I wear, they're all together. Okay? I make them myself with the holes, but they're not the ones I've necessarily spoken about tonight. Some of them are, but they're ones that I wear, and I wear others on my wrists. Okay. But yes, I wear them together, so you can keep them together as well. I've got another lot that I do just work with. So separately or together, depends what the purpose is. Say I wanted a particular purpose, maybe something to do with dreams or visions at night, and I could separate a couple of the others and put them under my pillow, and then I've changed the intention. But yes, you can keep them together, Valerie. The only one that I spoke about that I wouldn't bring into my aura personally would be, like, to keep together in my aura, would be black tourmaline, really.
Some people will.
Some people would, but that's just me. This is my beliefs and just what I've tried and tested. Okay? And that's already why I said some, because Marie would use that a lot more than I would. The black tourmaline. Show me where the sheet is there. Andrew, if you're just joining, you may want to watch the repeat or whatever. Most of the information has already been with regard to the crystals. So I'm just sort of answering questions now at the end. But thank you for joining us. Helen Mansell, I have a crystal ball. It's yellow, golden bits running through the clear ball. Pick it up and look at it different days to see if anything different comes up to me. That's it. Does look different most days. Haven't tried it on anyone. Can you tell me about citrine to keep in the purse?
Very good.
Very good. But I'm not. I was going to say I got that from somewhere because I wouldn't know the answer to that, but I just got told it's for abundance. Okay. Yes, it's very good in your purse. But if it's in your purse, I don't know whether this is correct now. But I'm told once it's in your purse, you don't take it out. If it goes in your purse, you leave it in your purse. All right. Hey, so someone's telling me something from above. Yeah, Helen, if you put the citrine in your purse, keep it in your purse. Sarah May, I mean, no other amethyst type, just natural amethyst geodes. The vibration, that's not my belief at all. The amethyst type, the only amethyst type is a natural amethyst geode. Okay.
That point you've got there, that came from a natural amethyst point.
That's a natural amethyst point, so it came originally from a geode. Okay. I don't know whether they meant by geodes that they prefer natural amethyst or rough amethyst. Okay. I'm personally quite a bit drawn more to rough. I haven't got just rough crystals or raw crystals, but I am drawn to them more. But I wanted something for scrying, which is why I went for the amethyst there, and the other amethyst that I use is on a pendulum because they've both got purposes for me for work. Okay, you have just put in my mind a visualization of a geode. I wonder what that would work as a pendulum. But no, the vibration from the crystals pretty much is the same. It doesn't matter what form it is. They all originate from the same thing. You have to be very careful when you're buying certain crystals that they're not man-made, because if companies know the manual makeup of crystals, they can make a man-made version, which then aren't going to have the same vibration as one that's formed naturally. Welcome, Sherry. Welcome, Siobhan. Crystal Bible is good. No, I've just took. So I've jumped to the bottom of this now, and I need to go back up to where I was. Right. People say, "Thank you. I want all of them." My stress and worries for the family. I think I'd already answered. Soul lamp would be my opinion, because you need something. If it's for the family, you normally need something in the house. And I would say that's the best way of absorbing that. If it's something like that and you wanted to look out for, you drop me a message on my inbox on my page, because then I can sort of have them together and come back to you if there's enough people wanting to look. Obviously, we can't look on wholesale and typically order one piece. It needs to be more than. Frankincense not promotes communication. Frankincense, is it can also cleanse? I don't know. I'm not claiming to know the answer of whether it cleanses or clears. But definitely actually it would clear negative energies away because they won't like frankincense because it's high vibrational. So I don't know whether it cleanses clear crystals, but it definitely cleanses negative energy. It's like a repellent. It's like a south end of a magnet. Any negative energy will go one way once you've got the frankincense. It also aids in communication if you're trying to aid with meditation, communication as well. Sense and merge, very good. Keep citrine in your purse. And we'll do something a little bit different, which I can do another live on at a different time. But that's where I mentioned abundance grids. And believe me, abundance grids work. I won't go into exactly how, but believe me, abundance grids work. And citrine heavily used in an abundance grid. Okay? Which, if anyone was interested in abundance, the use of crystals, comment, and if there's enough of you, then I'm happy to do at some point in a week or two a live on abundance and abundance grids. Roger, if you drop us a message with those, then I can try and pair them up with others. Okay. Don't know what you mean with the red one, Crystal. Can you get different coloured salt lamps? It doesn't have. I'm colourblind. So classed as red. It's a Himalayan salt lamp. Different.
But it's natural, so they can come in.
They can be what, yellow, orangey, I guess a reddy tinge. Natural Himalayan salt lamp is, I think, what they're called. They're called a red one. Would you put citrine in the front and back door as well? With carnelian?
We've got it in the furthest left point from the front door.
We do have them in the furthest left point from the front door.
Which is feng shui.
Which is feng shui. Feng shui. So we have got it in the corner of the house. Right? Yeah, we've got a few salt lamps. They're wonderful, Christine. More than welcome, Valerie. With crystals, Nicole, it's very competitive and they mark a lot up. It's not as easy as you'd think, potentially, to sell crystals because there's such an outlay in the first place to stock in order to send back out. But we're more than happy to try and help if anyone wants. Like I said, if there's enough you wanted, and we might be able to do something there for you to bring them, to get them to you at a better price. Have I got crystals to keep me grounded? Yeah, Pneumite. Pneumite, and my vibration's so high, negative things don't come close. Work, do clearances and things like that as well, and work with negative energies. Don't want to go too far into that in a minute, but that is another feather to my bow, would be clearances and removing demons and things like that. And they just go miles in the other way, Kelly. The vibration is the key to keeping away negative energies. Welcome, Anita. Oh, and again, jumped straight down. Miss anyone's comments. Well said, Rosemary. Do beware of synthetic crystals. Yes, I'll do that. I'd do that first. We wouldn't just put an order in and then if there's enough people that are interested, then we could say, then we can say, well, we can get it at this price, which is just 10 people. We just like divide it by 10. Okay? And just obviously the postage or whatever on top. Welcome, Roger. Hello, Kerry. Manifesting generator. Yeah, that's be a crystal grid, isn't it? Well, it's the middle point of the grid of abundance grid. Manifesting generator is the top, the middle one, the point in the middle of the grid. We've got natural supreme for our generator on there. Okay, we'll do. I'll do one for within the next couple of weeks, week or two, Roger. I'll do one on grids or abundance grids. So obviously, grids can be used in multiple ways, but abundance is the best way, and it's the first and easiest way of showing how easily they can work with proof. You'd be surprised. Okay. Rose quartz, a big piece by my bed. They say maybe under your pillow. Bed is it supposed to bring lots of love? By the bed, it's to do with the heart. Marie's got a piece in her hands at the minute, actually. But yes, and also if you're trying to fall pregnant, it's a good bit to have under the middle of your bed or under the middle of the female on the bed. That's right, isn't it? Why the bed for love? Yeah, under the mattress if you're trying for children. What do you think about crystal singing bowls to clear negative thoughts and cleansing the atmosphere? Right. Yes, they work. Personally, we use angel tuning forks, which is very similar method. It's the sound that it generates. Okay, which yes, it can cleanse. Which crystals do you think is best between selenite and clear quartz? Both got they've got different purposes. Selenite and clear quartz. Clear quartz, if you were going for clear quartz, I'd recommend Herkimer diamond. Okay? If it's one that you're wanting to work with. And selenite, so it's like both really. But the answer would be both. Yes, there are crystals for energy. Selenite would be one from what I've spoken about tonight. There are others, but selenite would be the one for energy, wouldn't it? On there.
Shiva Lingam you use, don't you, for boost of energy?
Yeah, Shiva Lingam. I'm also shamanic healer. Okay. Shiva Lingam. Shiva Lingam. That's it, isn't it? Yeah. There's the Shiva Lingam. So if I'm low on energy when I'm working, or it's funny if I'm working, sometimes it can be low on energy because of the spiritual side. Sometimes it can be because of the physical side. So depending on which I'm feeling tired about, depends on which crystal I'd need. So often if I finished working, I might be tired from readings, which is because I've been operating at that level too much. When I come down, my physical body isn't tired. And other times it can be my physical body that gets tired. And then if it was my physical body, I'd more call upon that, which is then calling on Kundalini energy. That's opening up a different subject. For energy, one of the first ones here I would recommend would be selenite. Again, I love rock crystals. I love rock crystal. I don't know rock crystal, do you? Not. I don't know what rock crystal is. Okay. If you know what it is, Rosemary, please drop me a message. I'm curious because I've not heard of. Love rock crystal. I've not. I don't know what love rock crystal is. If you know any more about it, please let me know, Rosemary. Okay, what grounding crystal is it, Helen? Interested that. We see. I often see Archangel Michael. Work a lot with him with on clearing. He can sort of show himself as an angel. He does very often, especially if you're working for the good, for the highest good.
Tiger's eye is very good for energy, actually, isn't it?
And the other one, if you're trying to look after, would be tiger's eye. Those who are asking about energy, if you wanted to wear something, then I'll do tiger's eye. Next week or two, Roger, I'll do one on crystal grids. Okay, show you what I believe. Well, what we've proved and tested and works. And I'll tell you how exactly it's worked. And you just can't decide exactly what abundance you want. You just have to use the word in general of abundance. Okay, and it comes in all sorts of forms. Yeah, you can use crystals for scrying, Helen, which I do. They can show themselves a lot, and they do. They were appearing earlier when I was holding some of the crystals up. Shiva Lingam, it's from Ocean Floor, isn't it? That's the Shiva Lingam. Not just shamanic, is it? It's one of the Chinese stones, isn't it? Use a lot. So my terms aren't good. I know bits about them. I've got the wrong phrases with it.
Indian culture.
Okay, yeah, like Indian culture and to do with Kundalini energy. So I have to make notes. I know a lot of information, but I don't put the technical terms or the correct words. So I have to write bits down before I pass the information on. Clear crystal. So clear crystal, that'd be crystal quartz. Clear crystal quartz. Okay, it's a very programmable crystal, isn't it? That'd be why, if it was being used for love, then it's been programmed, Rosemary. So if you can put a belief into a crystal, then it works. Yeah. She's saying she'd used it and she swore by it. So I was saying they're very programmable. Once crystals then they get used to your vibration, the crystals, as well as you getting used to them. So it can then kind of, I'm sure the crystals can stop you, in some ways make you heal easier if you're poorly, because it can push your vibration back to you. So clear quartz would be something that can take on your body's energy and kind of replicate it. So you can take your intention onto it. Herkimer diamond will magnify the power of any other crystal. Roger, I don't know Brazil bluestone. Brazil bluestone.
Wasn't that on Crystal Nation?
Okay, there is some on Crystal Nation. I don't claim to be a crystal expert, so I don't know much about that crystal. But Herkimer diamond magnifies other crystals' powers. Rose quartz, good for the heart and the heart chakra and love. Now, crystal grids do work. You don't actually, once you understand crystal gridding, you don't actually need a grid, because you can do different things in corners of houses and all sorts in order to create the right energy flow, etc. Hi, Donna. The other thing for energy, what did I say? I've got to think back. Selenite or Shiva Lingam. Not Shiva Lingam, that's Kundalini energy. And I get near the bottom, then it jumps me down about 5 minutes a lot.
We're just from Tide's Eye, but we're more talking about the spiritual development. They're more the lower chakras, your energy and things, but we weren't talking.
Okay, yeah, they're more for the lower energy. Some of those, like the tiger's eye, etc. So unless you're working with other higher energy ones, they're the lower chakras for development. It's all higher chakras really for development, which was I didn't cover that really in the talk. Right. Do you cleanse your crystals every time you use them? Half of them are on me all the time anyway. I with the Reiki and the shamanic healing, I can cleanse in a slightly different way to some of you, because if you're involved with Reiki or anything like that, which some of you probably are on that, you can use your energy on those in order to cleanse and energize crystals. So it is a little bit different with me energizing, cleansing crystals. I can do it a little bit quicker, I guess, than others. The energy that I can push out, especially with the shamanic side as well. But yes, if they're crystals to do with that I may have incorporated with shamanic healing, and yes, they'd be cleansed as soon as I've used them. Okay, I don't like other people coming near my crystals anyway, so therefore, and most of them they're always in my vibration. But yes, we re-energize them. My cleansing would more come from energy, but they're always in the area of a positive energy anyway from my working. So they're always in the light of sage and Palo Santo and things like that, which generally cleanse them. But mine are always as well by selenite, which selenite does the cleansing for you. So technically, yes, but not with like a specific purpose of taking the selenite up to the crystal. Ours are very, very close together. We've got what I do and Marie does. We've got crystals designated in areas in order to do the cleansing, etc. for us. So more the selenite's there, and I go and put my crystals back with, which then cleanse the crystals. So yes, but that's just a habit that I've got into every day. So we wouldn't necessarily call those cleansing. Cleansing anything for crystal healing, etc. They're always done. Negative clearances, if we're using a crystal to absorb negative energies, yes, that would obviously be done from removal of negative energies when I'm working for someone else. But it is a good habit just to get used to cleansing the crystals, re-energizing them. Oh, bless you. Well done for what you do, so especially with those hours a week. But you doing that sort of hours a week, Shiva Lingam probably would help you. Okay? I wouldn't have it with you all of the time. It's when your energy starts to drop, that's when I'd add it to your aura, and then remove it. But it'd just be as a pocket too, which could well help you with your work. Smooth, dark green and blue-green shimmers. Blue. Someone's asked the crystal that Archangel Michael in. I'm not sure what it's in. It's smooth, dark green with blue-green shimmers. You couldn't it? It's not labradorite, is it? Helen, it's not that, is it? Piece of it. This particular piece, because the purpose of that, I don't know, we need to go into, but that is generally, I would be calling in or speaking to my Archangel Michael while I use this. And if that helps, I recommend what crystals work for me personally, if we were to. I'd be able to recommend some, Nicole, but it wouldn't like be for me to put the package together. It'd be for what you're drawn to. For instance, what I've said tonight, those 10, they'd be good for anyone really to have and sort of build up to having all of them. Okay, depending on how far you are progressed wise, there's others that I could recommend. You'd be better drop us a message, Nicole, with what stage, etc., you're at and what you're trying to achieve. I might be able to point you in the right direction, but then it's whatever ones you're drawn to from that. I could say you need at least one of this type and name a few, which would then be like your grounding and for your safety and being protective. But others, then it's personal preference. Okay. Blue kyanite, it is quite crumbly, but it is beautiful. Okay. think I've come to the bottom of the questions. Has anyone got any other questions they'd like to ask her about the crystals? If not, and anyone does think of anything, you're more than welcome to just drop me a message anyway. I'm more than happy to come back to you. But I've enjoyed talking about these 4 developments. But if anyone can get used to that sort of energy, a perfect start for anyone wanting to progress a little bit further. And they are ones that then you would be using quite often. So they are a good, worthwhile investment. And then it's like stepping up. You can step up a little bit further once you're used to those. No problem at all, Nicole. Okay. Sky blue topaz. Would be higher with the colours, wouldn't it? For higher chakras. Kind of thing that I would be drawn to. Most of mine are blues, etc. I won't go into big detail, but because I need to do that at a different time. But for instance, I am drawn to the blues and the purples, where I wear tanzanite, blue kyanite, amethyst, tiger's eye and unikite, auralite, lapis lazuli, numite, moldavite ×2, labradorite, centimani, and agrimanitite. Okay? Now, some of those I've mentioned what they do, but the tanzanite would bring together all aspects of communication. So I have that. Tiger's eye is down to energy and a bit more protection. Unikite is a love connection and heart chakra energy. Gives visions, clairvoyance, and is an emotional stabilizer. So it's like it just helps with all the others. And auralite 23. There's an awful lot of energy because it's made up of a lot of different crystals. But labradorite is definitely the protection, okay, the astral travel. Centimani would be the enlightenment, and agrimanitite manifest success. So that would be, you can sort of build up to other things. But I would never get anyone else say go and get all of those or put them on at any one time or anything like that. It'd probably make people heavily sick, okay, if it was in their aura without building up to that sort of energy. The blues, you can see the majority that I've mentioned there, large part of blues. Okay. So that is all a sign of wanting to develop her anyway. She'll be drawn to higher chakras, Cheryl. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, a lot of children, Helen, our youngest, is pretty much quite drawn to crystals. She's now having trouble when she goes and drawn to our abundance with crystals. Decides to move them because then it starts all over again. Yeah, if anyone wants any particular topic about crystals, drop me a message. I'm more than happy to then, if there's enough wanting a discussion or some sort of live to do with crystals in a different area, I'm more than happy to try and put something together for the future. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good evening and a good night.